entirely not in the actual game, and I didn't even realize there was a story until just now as I'm writing this. There's no plot introduction sequence like Unreal Tournament has, only a brief video with some character names and upbeat music. Please disregard the machine gun sound effects. There are no such things in Nerf Arena Blast. There are, however, plenty of Nerf blasters, with 5 actual products and 5 fictional sci-fi guns to pick up in-game, each one nicely modeled and textured for the time. But first thing is the main menu, where we're told to enter a name and choose a pre-made character along with your difficulty level. And the rest of the menus consist of rather simplified options compared to UT, at least till you open the advanced menu, which brings up a whole lot of Unreal Engine adjustments you'll be familiar with if you've ever modified UT settings. Once you exit the menu, you're dropped into a map with 2 rooms, a tutorial and an amateur combat map.
Welcome to the Arena Blast training area.
The tutorial is a tutorial. It takes newbies through a tutorialized sequence of areas to learn basic movements and interactions, at least until it broke and I had to quit and move on. Anyway, I started blasting.
You did, anyways. I started blasting. Hey, Eat him. Eat him.
Dang, this is some delectable late 90s FPS goodness right here. The sound effects, the energetic CD audio soundtrack, the way those secret shot darts stick to surfaces, and those colors, all the colors all the time. I love it. Back in that IGN interview, Mr. Walls stated they were influenced by N64 games like Mario and Zelda, and yeah, honestly, I can see it. And it fits the bombastically vibrant 90s Nerf aesthetic. I mean, just look at these things. It's all highly saturated yellows, oranges, pinks, and greens, blues, and purples. The design practically screams late 90s 3D accelerated FPS. Unfortunately, this 1993 missile storm isn't featured in the game, but that's fine. There are plenty of great blasters, again, 5 real and 5 fictional, each with a primary and alt-fire mode. Almost all of them are variants of what you have in Unreal Tournament, though each is remixed enough to feel unique. The 5 blasters based on actual Nerf products all act similarly to their real-world counterparts, with tweaks and additions that make sense in a game. Like the Wildfire, not only automatically fires individual darts like the real thing, but can also shoot 10 at once like a kind of flat cannon. The Ballzooka shoots the expected balls, but also greenish goop, like the Bio Rifle, except just sticky and not explosive. The Pulsator has its pulsating barrels shooting balls, but the main fire mode is now a spinning bola to disarm players. And the Triple Strike shoots arrows with both single and triple shot firing modes like the real deal, but these explode on impact like a rocket launcher.
It's ugly.
Unfortunately, its projectiles don't scream like the real ones, which is a shame. Those screaming arrows were all over the advertising.
Nerf Triple Strike! You pump up the power for maximum distance! Nerf Triple Strike!
Yeah, I actually do have one of the Triple Strikes from 98, 99, and it does whistle, like, with the little whistler thingy on the end there. It actually makes a whistling sound. So it's slightly broken, but you know, I'm trying to fix it. Anyway, it still works for this.
Oh, that's cool. It does.
So why don't they make the one in the game whistle? I don't know. Missed opportunity. And yeah,
That
the
is
other
a
weapons
missed
are all fictional but
opportunity.
fun. The scatter shot is a shotgun with different spreads. The Nerf cannon shoots basketball-sized explosives.
Nerf
the
cannon?
hyper shot is somewhere between shock rifle and insta-jib rifle
I
in
wanna-
terms of
I don't
capabilities.
play
The
this
Sidewinder
now.
is effectively the UT Ripper gun, but with a secondary fire that lets you guide the projectile in first person, like the UT Redeemer. And then the Whomper basically is the Redeemer, but actually more like a BFG, taking a moment to warm up and fire, blasting a huge radius all at once. With the secondary fire depleting shields, and yep, health and shields are your 2 notable attributes to keep up with, health being the number in the bottom left, and shields showing up over on the right. And there are the expected pickups to boost each. As well as less common pickups allowing for higher jumping, faster running, and double damage. It's all classic arena shooter stuff that'll feel mighty familiar to genre veterans. Anyway, I know I've been showing random gameplay for a while, but let's get back to the campaign. After that first amateur skirmish, you're teleported to this pleasant-looking hub world, a kind of open-air shopping mall-looking place complete with water features and storefronts, which are actually entryways to the 8 different combat arenas, one for each competing team. Then the final championship arena opens up at the end if you manage to outscore all 8 teams. You still have to battle each team in a predetermined order, though, meaning Mall World here doesn't serve a purpose other than a fancy menu system, but hey, I like fancy menus, so I'm not complaining. There are 3 doorways within each team's lobby, one for each
Dude,
game
they
type,
went
so
hard.
make your
What
choice.
the
Grab a
fuck?
blaster and get nerfing. Right, so what we've got here really is a lot like Unreal Tournament. That much is obvious and expected, particularly in its point blast mode that's most similar to Deathmatch. But once I got past the initial UT total conversion mod feel, yeah, Nerf Arena Blast genuinely does have its own distinct character. There's more of a unique identity to it than I noticed at first glance. The main thing being that, well, there's no death and by extension, no kill count. Instead, players are quote-unquote knocked out when their shields and health are depleted. It's effectively still a kill, or it would be if the game counted those, but nope. It doesn't matter how many times you knock others out, everything here is about acquiring points. And whoever has the most after the timer runs out wins the match. With 25 points earned for every time you shoot someone, 100 points for hitting them directly in the chest, and if you knock them out, they drop a floating point pickup wherever they fell, with 250 points as a base. But it goes up to 500, 750, and 1,000 points for third, second, and first place ranked players, respectively. So the better you are, the more you're worth when you're knocked out. But the twist is that if you don't pick up the points dropped, it kinda doesn't matter. Knockout points are only gained on pickup, and others can pick up those points, or they'll even just disappear if you're not quick enough. You can even pick up your own points if you're knocked out, rapidly run back to where you fell, and grab the floating points pickup before another player does, which is kinda wild. Now, another thing skewing all of this are the point targets plastered around each map, with 250, 500, and 1,000 point targets triggered by blasters, and they have a cooldown, so you can only shoot them every 10 seconds or so, but still, it's technically possible to win a match without taking out another player at all, once you learn where the targets are and how often you can shoot them. But yeah, this point system applies to all game types, although it's not always top priority like it is in point blast mode. Speed blast,
that's
for instance,
fucked.
is an outright race to the finish. There are 7 flags acting as checkpoints that need to be touched in the right order, and the first player to reach the 7th wins. You can still shoot and knock out other players, which does earn points, but it doesn't seem to do anything beyond earning a higher score on the scoreboard. As long as you reach the final flag first, that's all that matters. And honestly, taking out others is kind of a waste of time, not only because they respawn at the most recently touched flag, but also because the AI kind of sucks at pathfinding, at least on most Speed Blast maps. There are a couple of simpler maps that they can manage, but the majority of them are pretty complicated and involve a lot of backtracking, platforming, and even a few environmental puzzles. So most of the time they get confused or stuck or end up shooting each other in frustration or something, and you can just waltz right through the end with no problem, sometimes in under a minute. Speed Blast maps really are the weakest part of the game in my view, at least against AI bots and single player. I'm sure this will be a lot of fun multiplayer against humans with brains. The last game type is Ball Blast. It is pretty darn enjoyable. Grab your balls and blast them directly into the holes. 7 is once again the pertinent number, with each ball having a different color, and the first 6 spawning around the map at random. collect at least one of each. Use your ball blaster to shoot them into the goal and score points. Whoever has the most points by the time someone sinks all 7 balls wins. It almost feels like a distant precursor to the bombing run mode introduced in UT 2003, which also featured a ball launcher launching balls into goal holes. But yeah, Nerf Ball Blast is good fun for the most part. It is unfortunately brought down a bit by the final ball. After you've grabbed and sunk the first 6 colors, the 7th golden ball drops somewhere, and once it does, pick it up and sink that sucker to end the match. If you can find the dang thing. Not only does the golden ball look an awful lot like the yellow and orange balls, but finding precisely where the elusive orb is hiding within the entire map can be a pain. It's taken me almost 10 minutes to find the final ball at times. Oh well.
And the winner is...
Anyway, that's the gist of the campaign. It's those 3 modes on repeat for the whole game. 8 different times and 8 different arenas against 8 teams. And then once you've beaten them all, it's on to the final championship arena, which is a tad underwhelming. I don't know, it's fine. But it's nothing more than a regular point blast match against 5 of the bots you've encountered before. No big twist or boss battle or anything. At least the map is fun with a big open area in the middle, resulting in lots of nerfy chaos. But there are enough points targets scattered around that are easy to hit that it kind of takes the edge off of any challenge provided by the combat. It's no Zan Krieger fight, is what I'm saying. But yeah, once it's over, you get a video cutscene with random character animations and someone spamming a soundboard. And that's it. The game just ends. Other than replaying the same matches again, the big remaining feature is multiplayer. And, well, GameSpy servers were taken down, and fan servers are few and far between, so no luck there. You can't even set up your own bot matches, since for whatever reason, bots are disabled in multiplayer, at least by default. This is the Unreal Engine, after all, and there's always an INI file somewhere. Sure enough, by changing the multiplayer bots to true, bots are enabled in multiplayer matches whenever real players can't populate the server. Annoying, this isn't enabled by default. Bots are already part of the game, and custom matches against them really helps in replayability, especially since Arena Blast also came with Nerf Ed, its own version of the Unreal Editor, so custom maps were clearly encouraged. No surprise then, the community that grew up around this game was quite vibrant and continues on with fan sites like nerfarena.net, and that's where you can find the excellent NAB community packs with the full version providing over a gigabyte of custom content curated over the decades. Once installed, you get what they claim are all the maps, mods, sounds, and textures ever made for the game. Yeah, it's a lot. But the quality of life improvements alone are worthwhile, particularly all the extra menus, options, and customization across game types. Plus, a dedicated offline bot match menu complete with map lists and mutators. You feel like shooting explosive watermelons at each other inside of an Imperial starship housing TIE fighters? Go for it. Want to jump around in outer space, rapid firing insta-kill nukes at each other? Go right ahead. Or even simply being able to play classic Unreal Tournament maps with Nerf guns. That right there is a joy all on its own. The mods for each game aren't directly compatible with each other, but with a little bit of work, they seem to have a lot of things converted over. The community patch also unlocks unfinished game types, like team-based bot match modes, and something called Lab Rat mode, which is really point blast with added bits of cheese, a tasty cultured pickup that boosts your health and provide bonus points. I can kind of see why they never finished this mode, there's not much to it. Also Capture the Flag, which reportedly the developers wanted to put in the game, but never got around to it. Well, thanks to the modding scene, CTF is playable, along with plenty more new game types created by fans on top of that, so the community patch will certainly keep you occupied. And if you're playing on modern hardware, which is really easy to do, you can even try mods like Ray Traced Arena Blast, one of those NVIDIA RTX remixes that slaps a bunch of shiny textures, height maps, and moodier real-time lighting over everything. Whether or not that's something you want, yeah, that's up to personal taste, of course. And these kinds of things are always evolving. No doubt someone will give it the DLSS 5 treatment eventually. What a time to be alive. And that's about it for Nerf Arena Blast. It's a fun time. A blast, perhaps, at least for a few hours, which is how long it took for me to beat the championship. I wish there were more multiplayer servers going, but there are still plenty of mods and community maps to mess with, which is great. Although I'd struggle to recommend this over Unreal Tournament for any reason at all. That game has so much more custom content and, well, a more enjoyable base game, to be honest. Really, it's the Nerf blasters themselves, the colorful environments, and the fascinating points-based gameplay that set this apart. And for sure, it's worth trying out if you dig old-school arena shooters. And it's certainly the best Nerf-licensed FPS, at least one that isn't an on-rails motion shooter or a mobile game. And there was that Nerf Legends game in 2021, but oof, yeesh, that did not have a positive reception and was quickly forgotten. Arena Blast, though, yeah, it's one of those titles packed with enough charm that it's retained fans for 27 years and counting. Maybe one day it'll finally get a digital re-release and gain a few more. Yeah, let me know your memories of this in the comments or whatever your favorite arena shooter back then was.
I'm just digging around at this point. Fuck Chun-Li. Oh man. Chibi's. Oh, look at the burrito. Pervert.
短優しい好きちょっとガチで感謝されると胸が痛むじゃんもうたくさん食え後藤さんはそんな四六時中人のいるところには行きませんあ教えてきた博士でてかそれにしてもぼっちちゃんメイド服似合いすぎじゃない後藤さんはこういう甘い系の服似合いますねこの3人のビジュアル強すぎでしょちょっとだけ手伝ってもらってもいいですかいいよ私もギターとベース楽がちゃおうかな
Oh, they cooked. Hey, hey, hey. Oh, yeah, yeah. Come on. Yo.
虹か優しい好きちょっとガチで感謝されると胸が痛むじゃんもう土下座だ今日は人と話しすぎて疲れたので
Dude. Why is Bochi so funny? How long this headache goes away? Dude, indie discs are finally replacing everything. That ass, yeah. Community is unpaid labor.
Yo! Video games. Outside
Something that I'm really excited for that's happening right now is that, like, because of the failures that we've seen pretty much across the industry when it comes to some of the most, like, popular franchises, these guys, you know, through the years inspired other developers to make something similar. And now all of a sudden we're starting to see this, like, new wave of developers that are coming in, as well as other studios that are like, why don't we try to make a Mass Effect game? Why don't we try to make a Dragon Age game? Because it's obvious that we're probably not going to be getting that stuff from
pretty sure they will,
BioWare.
they'll do
So
better.
what if we try to do it ourselves? And we're kind of starting to see that happening right now. Something that I'm really excited for that's happening right now is that, like,
That you guys saw the AI horse shit. I don't even think anything needs to be talked about it anymore. Like, I crashed out on it, the DLSS 5 shit.
Man,
Oh, God.
don't talk to
And then they try to tell us directly to our face, like, it's not that, it's all this, it's actually going to be the future. And then we get all the chuds on Twitter saying, yeah, you stupid idiots. And then 1 week later, it is just a fucking filter.
Dude, it's a goddamn fuck.
All of us were right.
Instagram, TikTok.
Because we have
filter.
eyes.
Yeah.
We have eyes, bro. Like,
and then TikTok filters.
so, unfortunately, does it mean it's going to go away or change? No. No, that's what happens now. They just, like, they're too invested into it. It's a thing. They're investors.
I'm out, man. I'm out. You don't even talk to me about AI because I've been saying this shit for quite some fucking time.
Well, what I can't, and I don't know how many of it's true, but I was saying, like, I don't know why a dev would be excited about this at all. Because it's absolutely made to get rid of people.
Yeah, and number one, it's made to get rid of people, and number two, it changed everything. It's like, people are like, yeah, that's the point, it changes everything. I'm like, that's exactly what's wrong with it.
Absolutely.
It looks different.
The whole point of this thing is to make positions redundant to get rid of human labor costs
Yeah.
on the development side.
And I was
but
saying,
on the consumer side, there's an even, to me, people are like, oh, this is crazy stuff. Whatever, I don't care anymore. There's running on two 5090s.
Yeah.
They're going to make the fanciest thing of this so costly, so insanely
if
expensive.
you want to buy it, you have to rent something or
Right,
some shit.
you can't afford this. You can't build a machine that's going to run this professionally. So you know what you do?
Subscription service.
You subscribe to GeForce Now and you stream it. From
I feel like that isn't a tinfoil hat thing. I think that is just normal.
Like, we're trying to make it so that we made the game cheaper to make, but made it so costly to run that you have to subscribe to us and you don't own any product any longer.
Exactly.
You just rent.
Which is why
that's
it
the
can
whole
cost so
fucking
much.
point. This is a whole fucking big 3D chess play by fucking publishers and these AI tech bros to just, you don't own anything, you rent things, you subscribe to things, you stream it.
Dude.
You know, that's it. We don't want you to own stuff anymore.
It started with
we don't want to pay people to make it either.
With Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
And then just everybody wanted a piece of the pie of Netflix, and just that pie got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and then just like, dude, and just people got more comfortable with not owning things nowadays, you know? And it's like,
Yeah, it's just conditioning.
yeah, it's conditioned. We've been conditioned. We've been, institutionalized.
Gee, that's crazy. It's like we didn't see it coming or anything.
You know, it's like now with the music too. Oh, guess what? You don't own the music.
weird shit
You're
is,
renting the music.
Right when all this stuff is happening, if you post like thumbnails or artwork or things on Twitter right now, guess what it
I
says?
saw
next
it,
to
yeah.
It says it's made with AI.
Yeah.
When it's not. And I see a bunch of other people saying the same shit where I'm like, maybe that's a tinfoil hat theory where it's like, I made this, it's not made with AI. And I know other people that made the things that put it up and it says it's made with AI. It's not. And I'm like, are they trying to condition us into thinking that like actually everybody makes things with AI?
Yep.
Like actually all the stuff that you see is made with AI, so it's fine, and you just don't know. Like, and I'm like, I'm really.
You're gaslighting.
Granted, it's an Elon website, so I'm really not thinking that that is too far away from a tinfoil hat theory. And I'm like, because it's still there. Like, it's still saying that shit. Anyway,
I mean,
I fucking hate it.
Well, it's got that tag too.
It makes me upset, bro. I fucking hate it.
we've been warned about this shit fucking years ago.
What I'm glad. Here's what I'm glad. The pushback. The pushback is there. Like people don't like this.
Yeah.
Like, most people, the very large majority of the consumer base that uses this shit, yeah, people are allowed to like it. You know what? You can do that.
Yeah.
I just don't want to see it. Like
Absolutely.
separate me from it.
Yeah.
But they don't want that. They want everybody to
Watch it
like
on your face.
And now that there's like a universal acceptance that like we have eyes, bro, we can tell this is shit.
Yeah.
And now everybody got on board.
Yeah,
Where it's
you know
like,
what it is?
all right, this fucking rally the troops, bro. This shit sucks. This shit big sucks.
You know,
It's like
it
this is where we stand.
It sucks because back in the day, I always wondered, oh, what if Spider-Man can fight Batman or Superman can fight like all these dream matches and AI's making it and it's shit.
Yeah.
It's fucking shit. And then you realize like these battles without substance is bullshit. It just looks awful.
We're talking about generative AI and AI language models specifically.
Nope.
Like it's shit.
just
It's
shit.
just shit.
I mean, like, again, there was a guy trying to run for president. I think it was Andrew Lee, I think, or something like Andrew Yang.
Andrew Jackson.
Yeah, something like that. He was running for president, and the first thing he said was, yeah, that his whole campaign was running against fucking AI because he knew the shit was going to happen. Nobody fucking listened.
Years ago, when
and
the very first deepfakes came out,
Dude, like, yeah, we were doing
that
deepfakes.
should've-
We were doing
That
deepfakes,
should
dude.
have been your immediate call to action.
Like,
Like
nobody
you'll be able to
should-
take somebody else's likeness and
Yes.
just like make videos out of it.
Yeah.
Like this should have been immediately illegal.
This is so frustrating because it's people like me, it's people like him that say these things. Everyone fucking ignores them, and then shit happens. Then it gets fucking bigger and bigger. Then it becomes a problem, and then when it becomes an issue, everyone's like, "Oh, we gotta do something." Motherfucker, you had all this time to do something before, but you didn't see it. It's not our fault. We're sitting here sipping tea, watching the fucking shit go down in flames with you because no one gave a shit.
No. We all tried to vote it out. Like we all definitely tried. The problem is that we
nobody
have
in
the worst country.
Exactly. And it's like, well, I mean, even with that, you knew that. I don't want to get political and everything like that, but you knew fucking Biden was kind of not there. We all knew this. And then by the time he starts doing the debates with Trump, it's like, yeah, he's fucked up. He's not right. We were warning you months, like 6 to 8 months. We were warning you that he's not right.
Thank you.
This is where the whole Jover comes from. It's literally that. So
No, but I think
what I'm saying with
it's gone back before that.
so
way before that.
what I'm saying with AI is that we looked at something like, let's say, the beginning. We'll go with the beginning, where it's Will Smith eating spaghetti. It looks fucking terrible. Now fucking Will Smith is eating spaghetti and talking to somebody right in front of him. I don't know if any of you have seen it, but there's something called Escape from Berlin. Escape from Berlin. Fucking insane. Light years ahead of what we saw, which was only a couple fucking years ago, which was Will Smith eating fucking spaghetti looking crazy. This shit is not a fucking bubble. They're gonna keep pushing, and the technology is gonna get better and better and better to the point where we won't recognize if it's real or not. We should have had legislation making sure that stuff was in the hands of the consumers, or that there is a watermark on every single thing to make sure that we know it is. If there's no watermark, it should be illegal flat out. And huge punishment should be for anybody that's releasing that stuff and doesn't have some sort of legislation that knows that we know it's AI.
This shit should have been illegal from the very beginning.
There should have been like legislation.
And we should have voted for the people who were going for that, and they're out there, and we ignored them. So now we're at this point where we're like, oh, AI's so bad. It's like, motherfucker, we knew this was going to happen, and now it's happening, and now we're panicking. Same shit with fucking Biden. We knew that was going to happen. It happened. Then we started panicking too late, and this is where we are.
Yeah,
So
well,
now get
you know what?
fucked.
I don't think it's a panic. I think it is an appropriate pushback. Like we're doing what they are telling us to our faces that this shit is actually amazing. You're too stupid to see it, and we're telling them, sorry, we have eyes.
Yeah.
This is just not something that we're going to be into. We're going to use. You're going to spend billions of more dollars doing this, and nobody's going to give a fuck.
The problem is the general public. You got to
know the general public.
You're actually gotten lucky.
The general public is not into this shit.
Yeah.
They don't like the way it looks.
Yeah.
The only reason this is happening is because there is an economic bubble around refueling this stuff for a demand that doesn't actually exist. A reminder, AI and its contributions to all of the hundreds of billions of dollars that's been spent on it added net zero to the economy.
Yeah.
Nothing. All it did was make people super rich, way more rich.
Of course.
Like, and we're talking like billionaire rich.
Yeah.
So yes, people are not seeing the benefits of this shit.
Right.
Normal people aren't engaging with it the way they want us to, that they want to make it a normality because they're making so much money off of it. But the reality is, it's not contributing to fucking anything.
Right.
And it's killing the goddamn planet. Like, it's, fuck.
Yeah,
We have to fight back. We have to just say this shit sucks.
I've been saying it's like the laundry sock gnomes. I'm like, how does AI make money, not save money? Not cut time down.
Yes,
How
it's
does it
actually creating-
generate? How do you
right.
generate money from
Because replacing
AI?
a job is one thing,
Right.
But you need to have something that is more efficient and better
Yeah,
than a human.
well, we can get rid of all these humans because it can do the job of like 10 people or whatever. I'm like,
Exactly.
you didn't make money, you saved money.
Yeah.
You just saved someone. It didn't generate money. It didn't generate
Yeah, it's
more
not
money.
creating new revenue.
Like, how are you making money off of this? How does this make money? And it's always like,
and we're actually finding out that it isn't making any of these companies that are fully investing into it actually any money. It's making investors money.
Yeah, I mean, that's the
It's
point.
not creating revenue.
That's the point, is that they care about the
Talk
bottom
about
dollar of what
that.
they're doing.
Yeah.
And technology will always do this. Like, technology will always be in the way of progress of human, not evolution, but human invention and individuality. Like, take for instance, the guy that makes apples or apple juice. Okay, he is picking the apples by hand and putting them in the machine, and he's churning it up, and he's making his own apple juice. The apple juice is refined, it's pure. He doesn't get all the terrible apples, and he makes it just fine. his competition has a giant tractor just ripping down trees, tearing up apples. Some of them are rotten, some of them got fucking shit in them, whatever. He's just making apple juice. The guy who has the tractor and making a ton of fucking apple juice will always make more money than the guy who has refined apple juice. The general public over time will just stop caring. They're gonna drink the apple juice no matter what. Well, because they have access to it.
There's a difference because the guy that is doing it himself can only make so much.
Exactly.
He can only produce so much.
Exactly.
So,
And so this is with art. So when people make art, and it takes them maybe 3 or 4 days to like, you know, come up with like a cool animated thing for that thing that just happened.
Sure.
It's going to take them long to do that, as opposed to the guy over here who's already made like 3 videos referring to the thing that just happened.
Here's my hope, is that, yeah, I see what you're talking about, but in the same way, like, refined food isn't as valuable as real food, where people that actually make real food, people go out and look for that shit.
Yeah.
Does it mean that they're going to make billions of dollars off it? No, they're not going to be able to make refined food money, but they're going to make just enough to do what they do because they have their fucking consumers.
Which is great.
And they're probably going to sell out of that shit if they make something good. And it's like, yeah, I think that thing is the same for art. Here's my deep hope.
Yeah.
Here's optimistic max of where this shit goes. I hope this makes art more valuable in the future.
Yeah,
I hope,
absolutely.
like, artists have been historically underpaid.
Yeah.
Historically not worth what the amount of time they put into what they do is worth.
Yes.
And they're always undercut at the highest level. Like, there's the entire history is business people taking advantage of artists and taking advantage of passion and not paying them and then reaping all the rewards.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, what I'm saying is that maybe at the end of all this Gen AI shit, we're just so sick of the fucking slop and we can tell the difference, the majority of us can, that actual artists are worth it and they should be paid more.
Yep.
Like, yeah, now that we see the difference of like, oh, all this shit is crap. I prefer for the last 5% of it to be good. I want games made by real fucking people, my dude.
Yes,
Like,
absolutely,
yeah, I think that's worth it. They should be paid more.
Yes,
If
absolutely.
you didn't have a fucking art team, you know, making the graphics in a video
Certified
game in the
organic
future.
art.
If you used AI vibe coding and used AI prompts for all your texture generated assets and everything and all that shit, why should I even pay you fucking money?
Exactly.
Like for your game.
Yeah.
Like why as a consumer should I pay you
Yeah.
in a small
Why
group
should
of
it be severely
a small group of
discounted?
AI engineers who just injected a bunch of prompts and vibe coding, whatever? Why should I pay you any fucking money? You stole everything in your to make
no,
your
I'm saying-
fucking fake ass product. Why should I pay you money?
I'm saying the same thing for musicians and shit, dude. People that make like music, like people that make like non-Gen AI music, which also exists now too.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, yeah, I think real musicians should be compensated and shit.
I remember I saw that. There was a video with a jobber rapper who had AI bitches in his video, and in the comments everyone was laughing at him for having AI bitches in his video. It's like, bro, seriously? And then 50 Cent just made a fucking rap video where he was dissing T.I., and it was fucking made of AI, and he had fucking AI bitches in his video. And people were like, yo, 50, you're back. Oh shit, go get him, 50. There is a huge disconnect between how the general public views this stuff. There is and I don't have faith in humanity because I honestly believe that there will be a point where people just sort of collectively drink the Kool-Aid.
Oh, yeah.
And they will just
Is that
slowly
nihilism? Is that what that is?
I don't know what that is. I think
Cynicism is
It's more cynicism?
but if you look at just humanity in general, let's look at an example like Vivo. I remember there was a time we all shitted on Vivo. Every time we saw Vivo on YouTube, we're like, fuck that
They're
shit.
just a big label.
This is a stupid label for fucking music videos. Guess what? We all love Vivo now. Oh, Vivo is in the description of the fucking music video. Oh, it's an official video. That's how we look at it now. We're like, oh, okay, that's what it is.
Well, there's
the
also-
general population just collectively absorb stuff that's being shoved into their face.
Right, but at the same point, like Vivo was providing something that was actually going
Yeah, it was
and
paying.
getting,
Yes.
it was paying for it,
It was paying the
getting the
artists.
music rights and getting the visuals like up to a standard. Like they go back to old music videos and shit and remaster them.
Right,
Which
And
is neat. That's valuable.
And I'm using that as an example of just the general public just collectively like, oh, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. Is the
I think,
general
I
population.
think it all comes down to like, are you providing something that's valuable? Is there something that actually has merit here that is a service that is good,
Right.
that is valuable, and that's the thing that we're like missing now in a lot of like
And that's why-
America, that everything is getting worse and you just pay more.
And that's why I find the funny of art creators kind of fucking hilarious because they provided a product that had quality, but then they lowered the quality with the AI, and they
In one
realized the
part of it
backlash.
specifically, yeah.
Right, and they realized the backlash was so bad that they stepped back and says, you know, we're gonna hire regular people now.
And they're like, this is so great.
No
This is
fucking
so
shit.
great.
Like really? Oh,
Again,
you stupid bitch.
okay. Again, there's already the turns are tabling, right? There already is a point where it's like, oh man, if we just didn't do that AI shit, it would have been so easy.
It would have been
No fucking shit. Like, at least people are seeing that. Like companies are seeing that. If we just didn't do this AI stuff, we wouldn't have to deal with all this backlash and all this kind of stuff. Like, from a
They're seeing
PR
it
nightmare,
even
that's also
harder now,
mad
dude. Even
expensive, right?
Microsoft's
So,
like,
yeah,
yeah,
people
we
are pushing
done
back. And
fucked
guess
up.
what? The pushback
Well,
from
Xbox
folks like
didn't get
us
that
and many
fucking
others
message.
is the thing that's allowing that to happen.
Or on-
Which is in turn making.
Dude, I even as someone who actively uses Copilot, I don't understand the appeal of using Copilot on Xbox. I really don't. Especially when most people have like a phone. It's like, ah man. Bochi. A little bo. Bochi-chan. Oh, look at the little burrito head. Oh shit, Planetide's still a fucking thing. Visible baby meters. The hell's he on about?
Your brand new water, what is this here? Your brand new Mr. Beast water pump can support a small village. I told you guys people were saying this. I said they were saying it. Everybody was like, there's no way they're actually criticizing Mr. Beast for spawning more black people. They are. They are. I said it was happening. Everybody wanted to get mad and tone police me, but it's true. True. It's true. You can see it on Twitter. There you go. Your brand new water. What is this here? Your brand new.
I was confused for it. I'm like, the fuck's that mean? Boy?
You overwhelmed this poor boy. Are you fucking happy with yourselves? Come on, let's go to church. What? God, I just want to ask you for one thing. I want you to kill Peter Parker. I want you to kill Gavin Spittle.
Wait, I want to see you with the symbiote. My spider sense is tingling. If you know what
I honestly don't know what the fuck he meant at that part. What did he mean?
Maybe something horny. I don't trust him.
I thought it was like a boner joke.
I mean, there's the one where it's like, what was it? You gotta take the suit off. I know what it's like. It makes you feel bad. And it's like, but I like being bad. It makes me happy.
It makes me happy. I don't know what the fuck they were talking about in that movie.
You ever Ben Parker? The man you killed in cold blood?
What do you mean to you anyway?
Everything!
We just do a stream where we just recite all of Spider-Man 3 from beginning to end.
I can do it. I got it. I've been reading poetry lately.
God, no.
Whatever that means, day by day. You see, can I get you a drink? I'm with John. You'll get my drink. John, drink? Bad for the public and each other. That's it.
You know, ain't no way this motherfucker deadass knows all that shit.
We get it! You're trash, Brock. You want forgiveness?
You're religion. Dirt in your eye.
You do this to me, I'll lose everything. You should have thought of that earlier. Peter, what's going on here? Show this to your editor. Tell him to check his sources next time.
Leon, get the fuck out of there! Get the fuck out of there! Freaking cold! Oh no. Oh no. He's hurt. Metal 2, he's hurt! He's hurt! Help! Somebody please help!
Where are you?
He's fucking hurt! Help! Somebody please help!
Where are you?
Where are you?
Where are you?
Where are
uniform. Are you in or are you out? It's you who's out, Gobby. Out of your mind.
Do you feel in charge? Your power and infrastructure have been important to me until now. So, you came back to die with your city. No, I came back to...
What is wrong with you? Cringe.
I can't with this dialogue. Hazel said, I need to look more like an artist. So I bought this hat. You just gotta let it flow through you. Let that cringe flow right out.
How did your assignment go? I don't know. You tell me.
Let's see this picture.
An ugly ass picture.
Schedule to at least Sonic. Can't do it. Oh. That hit me right there. Hit me right in the chest. Let that cringe flow right out. I can't with this dialogue.
That shit low key. That last one, nah. I would have quit too, dude. I was on my. Bottom allegation. Niska is not my waifu, bro. She is too young for that one. We are one and the same, but definitely not one. Hell no. Ooh. Could be. Right after. That's man, I'm so out of it. Right. Whoa, what is this? This Hollow Earth.
なんか自分が描いたイラストが洋服にできるらしいのね、このフォロワーズって。それをさっきさ作ってたのね。コーネはね、この自分が作った洋服を後で着ようかなと思っておりますので。今買ったよ。なんでこれね、バッグ。まさか三つ編みないって言うんじゃないでしょうね。まさか街に行けば解放されるよ。あ、そうなんだね。オッケーオッケー。じゃあもうとりあえず。
とりあえず。
うわーあ、ちょっとこれそれコーネがちょっと待ってよ、それまだそれまだなの。
Hello Earth. I ain't never heard this in my life.
ねえ、それどこで買えんのそれ。あ、これね、女コロネスキー用に作ったんだよ。これ見て、これほらリボンついてるやつ。
Oh my god, the emo.
これそれどこで買ったの。ちょっと待って、どこで買うのこれ。コロさんペイントツールやめてね。ペイントツールこも、あ、やばった これです、これです。これはちょっとね、ほんと申し訳ないんだけど、これは、これはちょっとね、試しで作っただけなので、これはね、ちょっと、これをね、着ようと思ってたの、これを。ほらほら、こういうのが着るやつ。これで、これを、ピューピューあ、ちょっと待って。何これあ、ここここえ、わかありがとう、ありがとう。わかりやすい、わかりやすい。ありがとう。あ、スタイリングここだ。かわいい。髪型。ここで、髪型できる？なんか追加されてる？あ、すごい。しかない。それを、家とかねえ、ちょっと極道やめて。ちょっと極道なんだけど。すごいね、みんな。これ分かりやす。じゃあみんな、次行ってほしいところとか、なんか連れてってよ、なんかどうか。また道作って。これからどんどんやること増えてくのかな、やれること。何があったら嬉しいみんな、このフォロワー数。これ、なんか今やってない人はさ、何ができたらさ、プレイしてもいいかなってなる。
I barely know what the fuck this is, dog.
三つ編みの追加そりましょう。わー、すごいモンスターみたいな。あ、排除する。
Oh, it's...
おい、これでこれなんだ？おい、なんとか言えよ。それできたー。それ、そこに。それ。11、12、13、14、15、16、17、18、19。こうに入れて20人ぐらいか。
She counts fast as fuck.
すごいすごい。作ってる作ってる。つかねえんだよ、ここ。こうね。
Already hear her saying. What we see? Definitely.
I love this.
No thoughts. You guys are the foot soldiers of a regime, right? Is that not what it is? Is that funny? Is that funny?
Who this white boy talking to? I love this.
No thoughts. Is that funny? Is that funny?
Who this white boy talking to?
It's
Where's the win? Here's our new game. You can play as 40 new races and a new magic mechanic.
okay. All you need.
Aufpassen! Ein Amerikaner! Hallo? Hallo?
Big mad.
Sort of work being done too with the airlines in order to get flights actually on time or not delayed as much. Just curious if there's any work happening there.
Yes, so we've seen almost a doubling in terms of improvement on-time performance since last year. That is a reflection of all the work that we've done across the ecosystem together with our partner airlines, with agencies, reducing processing time, reducing wait times, and fine-tuning operations with our air carrier partners. And we see the great results that have come from that.
Cameraman sacrifices his job for this.
Swear to God, plenty of motherfuckers uncomfortable bullshitting.
Still.
God, and then he goes again with the bullshit. Not know what Firefox. Bro, what is your beef? Oh, fuck.
So there I was, 1 a.m., crouched in front of my PC playing Ultra Kill, scrolling on Reddit until I found some forum from 2014 for a game that came out that week. And I thought to myself, there's no way I'm the only one who does this. And turns out, I was very, very right. See, high-end gamers, they download a game, they press play, and they're it. That's it. That's their entire experience. Not to like insult them or anything, my bad guys. But for us low-end gamers, we have a process. A ritual, if I may. Every single time we want to play something new, there's like 45 minutes of preparations before we even click the play button. And the wild part is, we all do the same stuff. Like there's some unspoken handbook or a low-end gamer's bible that every pro gamer gets issued the moment their PC struggles to run any demanding game. So today, I'm going to go through every single thing that low-end gamers have done, and if you haven't done at least half of these, I don't even know what to tell you, bro. You got a lot to learn. Number 1, and this is the most universal one. You have searched on YouTube GPU name on blank benchmark more times than you search anything else in your entire life.
Ew, Google
These 3
knows.
years, I swear I owe
YouTube
each and every one of you a heartfelt letter because what you're doing here is like God's work. You know that website, can you run it? That thing has also saved and destroyed more hopes and dreams than any rejection from the grow. You put in the name of the game, you hold your breath, and then it hits you with that big red X next to the minimum requirements. But here's the thing, and I've talked about this in my video about minimum requirements being a lie. That red X doesn't mean what you really think it means. Because you and I both know, we are clicking download anyway. This red X might just be for decorative purposes. It's useless. And then there's phase 2 of the search. This is where you search game's name, low NPC, and just start scrolling. YouTube videos from 2019 with 47 views showing the game running on an Intel HD 4000. Forum posts where some legend just says, yeah, it runs fine on my GT 710. You're looking for any evidence that your PC can even handle it. And we all know we annoying those comments that say we can't run it. Alright, so you bought the game. Or let's be real, it was a free-to-play game because you're not going to download it. You open it up, and before you even look and enjoy the main menu art and the music, you go straight to the settings. Graphics settings, everything low. Resolution, try to keep it native, but if it's impossible, 720p. VSync off. Motion blur off.
Chromatic aberration? What's that even mean?
Anyways, off. And then you find that one magical setting. Every game has one. That one option that tanks your FPS for no reason. In most games, the settings are usually anti-aliasing or ambient occlusion. In CS2, it's shadow quality. In GTA 5, it's grass. In Cyberpunk, it's well Cyberpunk. You turn that one setting off, and suddenly you're going from 24 FPS to 30 FPS. And you feel like a total hacker, like you've cracked the system. And if the game has a benchmark tool, oh, you're running that thing 12 times, changing one setting each time, writing down results like a scientist. Shadows medium 31 FPS, but shadows low 36 FPS. No shadows, I can see them off, at least I have 45 FPS. But sometimes the settings menu isn't enough. And this is where we separate casual low-end gamers from the elite low-end gamers. Because you've gone into the config files. You go into app data or documents or some random folder buried 3 directories deep, and you open up a .ini file in Notepad, and you start changing numbers. You don't fully know what to do, but then again, who does? But some guy on YouTube from 2016 said to set render quality to 0 and max post size to 256. So that's what you're doing. I used to do this with my 750 Ti constantly, and half of the time, the game would look like absolute garbage afterwards. Like we're talking PS1 graphics, flat textures, no shadows, the sky is just rock solid blue, rectangle, but it still runs. And honestly, sometimes those janky config modded graphics have their own charm. Or maybe I'm just creating my own happiness here. Alright, we're only halfway through, and if you relate to any of these or if you feel like you've been called out, that's because you are. But also, if you could please subscribe and leave a like, as it helps this channel out a lot. Thank you so much. But the next ones here are even more specific, and if you've ever done number 5, you are a true low-end gamer. This one is, everyone has done this. You want to play a game, so you open up Task Manager, because of course Task Manager is always open. And you see Chrome or whatever browser you're using eating up 4 gigs of RAM. So what do? You close everything, every tab, every background app. Discord, sorry, I'll talk to you guys later. I don't got anyone to talk to anyways. Yeah. Spotify music is a luxury I cannot afford right now. Microsoft Edge I've never opened but somehow is running. Get out. What is this? EA? Get out. You clear your RAM like you're clearing out space on the lifeboat. Only the essentials survive, and game is essential. And then you learn about that trick where you set the game's priority to high in Task Manager. You right click, set priority as high, and you feel powerful. You feel like you just overclocked your entire system. Did it actually help? Probably not. But let's talk about resolution, because there's a scale that every low-end gamer has gone through, and it looks like this. Stage 1. 1080p is fine, I just need to lower some settings. Stage 2. Okay, 900p isn't that different. Honestly, it looks like 1080p. On God, bro. Stage 3. 720p is perfectly playable. People are just dramatic. Stage 4. Is 480p even that bad? I'm sitting close to my monitor anyway. I don't need that high resolution. Reminds me of old consoles as well. Stage 5. Yeah, this is playable. I have never played games in a literal window, like a small window on my desktop, because I do feel like if you're forced to play like that, maybe it's actually not meant to be played in your system. But some of you guys has probably done it. Hats off to you guys, man. That's real dedication. Steam launch options. If you know, you know. Right-click the game properties, launch options, and you type stuff like DX9, windowed, low vid, high. You're basically writing a prayer to your PC. Like, please work this time. And then there's the real deep cuts. Switching your power plan to high performance, if that even does anything to your PC, defragging your hard drive if you still have a hard drive, which, let's be honest, most of us do, using game booster programs to boost your PC, which just closes background processes, but it literally has a cool boost button, so it feels legit. Oh, and if you ever lower your resolution on your desktop to match your in-game resolution, so the game thinks it's running at native, you're a genius. You're an insane genius, but a genius regardless. But the one thing that all of us have done and nobody talks about is the emotional cycle. You see a new game announced. It looks incredible. You're hyped. Then you check your specs, your heart sinks. You look at your PC, you look at the PC specs again, you Google game name on low-end PC, nothing yet because it's not out yet, so you just wait in pain. Then the game comes out, and some beautiful human being uploads a video, game name on GT 1030, playable, and it is playable. And the relief you feel, that is better than Messi lifting the World Cup. Yeah, no, never mind, that was too much. How my PC works then in gaming, and honestly, I wouldn't trade it. If this video even remotely resonates with you, drop a comment telling me which one hit the hardest. And if
There's a lot of it.
The problem I started to notice is how the term indie feels less about independent creators and more about marketing, either being used by corpo giants like Amazon and Roku to ship out slop, or be a shield towards criticism, so brain-dead fans will harass you for daring to dislike a product because, guys, you need to support indie creators, guys. No. When at points it doesn't even feel like they're a little guy anymore, have joined the establishment or have become their own establishment. Feeling just as cheap and lifeless as any other corporate garbage out there, but giving out the same quality products that are already being made by big-name studios. Like with a certain show being partnered and shielded by one of the most biggest multimedia empires next to Disney, and people will still say its trash spin-off is still indie despite being attached to a show on a giant streaming service, getting backup funds for means other than just self-funded merchandise. Oh wait, it's on Amazon now too, with
like quirky animation about supporting indie creators.
oh my god! And it adds changes to the episodes for re-release, and they now have a Splinter studio in Australia and are making a Homestuck series. Even the Sharpie Huffers thought its pilot sucked.
Animation takes a long time.
I'm not even being subtle. Busy Pop stopped being indie years ago, right after she sold her soul to Jeff Bezos, making a metaphorical and literal deal with the devil. I mean, I guess that was her goal, to get picked up by a major network, but now look at her. Wow. Nice Guinness World Record that even your own fans are smart enough to know is fake. Same fakeness goes for FNAF with Funko and Steel Wool, and God knows what other brands Fingers McFosberry's partnered with. And a really big example is Minecraft being owned by Microsoft for like a decade and a half now, to the point where it's just everywhere. It's inescapable. Like, has Mojang made any other games recently that aren't just Minecraft-related spin-offs?
Chicken jars!
Boy, do I sure love updates that add a few blocks to passive mob or a very situational weapon like the mace. That just leads me on to another point I have with this abused term. When is it still indie anymore? Is it when a guy or a small group makes a piece of media that gains some fans or traction? Or does it still count when it sells a shitload of merch, has connections to other quotation indie quotation media, and /or starts its own company and got funding from the Australian government?
Oh boy, look at that keyboard.
Yeah, I'm just gonna cut to the chase and talk about the company that's making the most overglazed independent media out there. I think Glitch majorly sucks, and its spotlight shows are quirky chunkus epic goy slop, the same levels as modern Disney Channel trash.
No, you cannot say that. Really? Wow.
Why am I here for this bit?
I'm going to talk about my thoughts about the company itself later, because that's completely different, but holy cow, I cannot get why people like Bird Drones and Digital Circus other than, look at the animation frames, whoa, so smooth, while they're not really moving at all.
And my favorite character is a wholesome being.
Or because it was shilled by every other major armchair critic cartoon reviewer with a critical analysis of a burnt potato.
Independent creators just killing it. Again, I can't applaud it enough. I'm here for it. In a day and age where we feel so much fear for the creative...
Let me tell you how much I've come to hate you since I began to live.
Well, how many videos Sabersparks made glazing indie slop with no critical analysis whatsoever? You can't tell me he wasn't paid under the table to shield this shit. For God's sakes, he was on one of the Glitch's circle jerking streams with Singer Pello. There has to be some indie cabal going on here. Now, how much Adrenochrome do you think they all individually take?
The Gleam know, and we catch them down.
Hell, I'm not even into a show yet. I'm already injecting my venom. Okay. I get that the audience for these shows are mainly Tumblr teenagers and middle schoolers, but half of this shit just feels like key jiggling with its shitty English anime dub voice actor levels of performances.
Who said it doesn't work? Maybe it does!
The first time I tried watching Murder Drones, I couldn't stand the first episode with all of its "how do you do, fellow kids" and millennial humor dialogue. For example, ironically, unironically using the term
toxic masculinity. Also, I'm an angsty teen fad, bite me.
It's trying way too hard to be funny every time it gets a chance by using terms and slang with no real build-up. And when What's-His-Face voiced by indie Chris Pratt came on screen, I think his name was N, and I found him so annoying I wanted to hit him with a truck at 100 miles per hour. Talk about a bad first impression, I already want to see one of the main characters get thrown to a trash compactor. Then later on in the episode, I see what it's trying to set up with the robots questioning what the company that built them is going to do to them after their mission of eliminating the worker bots is over. It finally gets a moment to slow down and not throw its humor at you every 12 seconds, and then the fight scene happens and we get more of that self-aware humor that's trying way too hard. Guys, it says best monologue ever .mp3 on this character's screen face. What was her name? Uzi? Like the Israeli machine pistol saying,
"Put that conventionally attractive male down.
Put that conventionally attractive male down. Put that conventionally attractive male down.
Put that conventionally attractive male down.
Robot fanfiction. Trash.
The only peak about this is how it feels like peak Bandcamp humor. Like, was there nobody saying to slow it down with this kind of dialogue or throwing out a punchline? Is it just, that was weird. Oh my goodness, this is horrible.
Terrible.
Yeesh, people say my mimetic YTP humor is annoying and then they watch this schlock. Okay, maybe I'm being too hard on this. After all, this is the first episode, so maybe the series does get better as it goes on. When going into episode 2, there's what seems to be a flashback scene with the murder bots being worker bots in this old mansion, and there's a party going on, and ooh, this is actually starting to look interesting. I'm surprised to say that I didn't hate it as much as episode 1. It actually tried building up its underlying plot more and had less of that god-awful humor in the first episode, but by a large margin, it's still insufferable at times, as that's mainly due to its safe, edgy lines and silly voice acting.
This is probably you weirdos' fault. I've never seen that symbol before. Wanna do an autopsy to find out?
You're not scary, you're just weird! I think the show does a good job setting up its horror elements and overall mystery of what's happening with the weird absolute solver entity and what it's doing to Uzi, turning her into some vampire flesh robot thingy. It doesn't really excuse all the tonal whiplash, the glaring plot holes, and how hasty the main plot feels. Why are the disassembly bots allowed to be around the worker bots in episode 4 like they don't have a history of maiming them? Why is death treated seriously? Every episode is laid out in the exact same way, where you can just summarize what's going to happen and when it's going to happen. Trauma moments where the characters are psychic. I think a lot of Glitch's recent shows suffer from not having enough time to focus on making their story/character development feel natural or engaging. A lot of things just feel rushed at times. Like with Murder Drones, it doesn't know when to chill out with its humor, and I don't blame people that get details wrong with its lore because quirky chuggus, I have crippling depression. Humor gets spammed into the last few episodes. And Digital Circus feels so formulaic and bare bones, the mental breakdowns in almost every episode make it feel like a bent piece made by a teenager in high school who cuts themselves. Kind of removing any of the shock that these characters are edging to their sanity's breaking point. It feels like BoJack Horseman level writing, hitting you on the head that these characters aren't mentally well like a rocket-boosted sledgehammer over and over and over again. It's not shocking or deep, it's just expected. You already know what joke I'm going to steal for this bit. Sad words, but a clown girl. Okay, this is a little bit off topic, but I kid you not. I wake up one morning, see this on my Twitter feed, this absolute truth nuke, and then I find out that Awful Fawful drew this. Yeah, the YouTube poop guy, also known as Naynays Naynays, also known by his not safe for work alt, Punt the Poodle. And you wanna know what he drew? He drew the Makima fart gif. Oh my god.
Bowser fart. You're all first life. Bow fart. You're all fart. You're all fart. You're all
Bowser fart.
I'm going to shish.
Come on. Oh man, the pot's calling the kettle black with this one, but like, hey, come on, Fawful dude, you got it right though.
We now join our regularly scheduled penis already in promotion.
Gooseworks can cope all he wants and say this show is made for adults, but no matter how many crash outs his little scrinkly dinkly cartoon characters has or how many scary monsters he puts into the show, it still feels like a show written for a Y7 rated audience. I don't know if I can describe it well, but it feels like the show is unable to break some maturity seal where it starts feeling darker and for an older audience, you know? I'm not saying, ooh, it needs more like obvious to the funny man with glasses site and Carl Sama's video about it, and while my chud senses are tingling and my gut is telling me to say the P word, there's only like one screenshot of this. I know your disappointment, Chuddies, but it's hard to believe if it's true. Even the soy wiki mentions is yet to be confirmed. There's no ages, there's no full DMs or knowledge of it deserves to be shot.
Drug out into the street and shot.
You know, speaking about channels that sold out to the extreme, I'm starting to see a lot of parallels between Glitch and Rooster Teeth. Both started with a video game machinima series that was their backbone. It was funny for a while, and then it became stagnant and evolved into something else. With Red vs. Blue becoming more of an action show and less of a sitcom thing, and then later milking itself by throwing whatever to the wall and seeing what stuck.
Master Chief is coming to Fortnite.
Also, Rooster Teeth made RWBY, and I tried to watch it years ago, and I got the same effect when I tried watching the first episode of Murder Drones. Millennial stylized humor mixed with so many anime cliches and exposition dubbing, I felt like I was watching something made by Sam Fenna, but a little less edgy.
No. Shh. He is legend.
Oh, and I guess Camp exists, and wow, more unfunny humor where everybody's a jerk, instantly forgettable.
Violence never solves anything.
Stab her, bitch!
They also have to make a show. Coming from an outsider's perspective, I don't think the pilot does a good job hooking people in, and I'm not interested in a single character here. They all feel like nothing burgers with funny laughter. And then you see the other animations they put on their channel, and they're a lot shorter, but not as vapid as the pilot. Like, why did they try to do something like this first? Oh yeah, I forgot. Also, shout out to the creator for telling Busy Pop to fuck off. That's something I can respect.
Based.
So yeah, I just flat out don't like it. I don't really have a big reason to hate it. It's just not my cup of tea.
No!
But hey, good animation equals good product, and that is that. Don't actually think about the media, just consume it. The car keys go jingle, jingle, jingle as we constantly get your attention with unfunny, quirky chunkus humor. Buy an overpriced plushie while you're at it. Just consume product. Go to Japan and buy the Digital Circus Jax Burger. Play the so retro Mario Kart ripoff we hired Monolith Bloodborne PS1 to make. With graphics so ugly and unfaithful to the original hardware, and makes their Neo-Clinic want to explode. How dare you dislike indie products, sir? Don't you know you're literally committing murder when you do that? I'm sorry, but you clearly are a miserable nigga when seeing people liking things, and you lack joy and whimsy. Good day.
Ooh. Silver, what you're doing back there is villainization. You really shouldn't be doing that. Did you also know that SMG4 was bullied in ending his series? Shut.
What, so being independent media excludes people from thinking media's garbage? Holy glazing, Batman. I swear, the phrase support indie animation is becoming the next animationist cinema. Well, in some cases, it really isn't indie anymore. That's a lie becoming more noticeable as the days go by and the merch ads get more obnoxious. Hey, at least Skibidi Toilet is honest about being a sellout, and that's just cool robots versus toilet aliens or whatever. Nothing but hype moments in Aura made off one video that should have been a shitpost back then. And it's still animated by one guy in Source Filmmaker. One guy in Source Oh, wait, never mind.
Skibidi Toilet.
Oh, wait, a company cut them over.
Fuck.
Wait, what? I think it's about time I talk about how Dishonest Glitch and a lot of big shot indie creators that sell out will still use the term indie for advertising and /or shield towards criticism. Static.
Oi, Bay! The Goyim is noticing things! Shut it down! Shut it down, now!
I covered this in my intro a little bit, but now I'm going to start elaborating on it. I think the term indie has lost the original meaning and has become more of an advertisement selling point used by corporations and their puppets, or as a shield against criticism because it was made by the little guy with very heavy quotations. Which makes you wonder, how much can you excuse under that one term? How much can a dude delude themselves into thinking that these companies are the little guy anymore when they're everywhere in brand deals and success? Like, when is the line drawn here? That's my major question. Now first, let's talk about selling out. I'm not talking about making a Patreon, a Ko-fi, or a little bit of merchandising with those cheap t-shirt websites, or doing a makeshift or YouTube's plushie made out of blood, sweat, and tears of Chinese orphans. Keep these people in your prayers tonight. They gotta be making shit like this for the equivalent of a US dime.
No! Cancer.
I'm talking full-blown corporate or shaking hands with corporations. I've already beaten the dead horse that is Busy Pop and Spindle Horse, basically being a part of Amazon now to the point that I can say Other Side, a show made by one of her animators, is totally industry plant. I mean, come on.
Come on! You spent more time animating 2 ads, selling YouTube's plushies, and not working on your main pilot. It's not even out yet, and you're already announcing another pilot too. Come on, finish your shit already. I bet you didn't even know about this existing until I brought it up to market. This shit is never coming out. Not even the power of indie Chris Pratt as a Twinkie giraffe can save this. Other Side, more like no side, because it's never coming out.
Sailor, please stay on track. You are getting off topic again.
Oh fuck, I forgot.
Hey, who's the clanker?
So what does this have to do with Glitch? Well, my problem is that Glitch is right on the borderlines of where Vivian is. You thought the Amazon distributing deal they did recently was the end-all be-all? Nope, that is only the tip of the iceberg of things they've done. Midwriter got funding for Epic Games because it was made in Unreal 5. I already made a joke about the Australian government giving them funding, like that doesn't glow in the dark like a 3-letter agent. Screen Australia is the Australian federal government's key funding body for Aussie screen production ever since 2008. That means Glitch is not just funded by Japanese consumerism, they're also funded by Aussie tax dollars.
Holy fuck!
Yes, if you're glowing in the dark, you just run them over. That's what you do.
They have ties to the people who advertised Apex Legends in Japan, explaining why Digital Circus is so popular there. And speaking about Japan, first a temporary pop-up store, and then a full-blown burger cafe in Osaka. Not to mention that these guys have shitloads of merch everywhere. I can walk by Hot Topic and see posters and t-shirts of Bird Drones and Gaslight District, and on my way to GameStop or FYE, I see Digital Circus posable action figures and plushies. And I know the common cop-out to this criticism is, well, Glitch needs to make money to survive, you know. Animation is really time-consuming and expensive. They need to pay their employees. Did you know that making merchandise does not disqualify you from being independent? Which is true. Making merchandise does not disqualify you from being independent, but that's not my problem. My problem is, how many corporations is Glitch willing to handshake to get where they are now? How many times are they going to do stuff like that until we just stop calling them independents? Because I don't think taking $1.3 million from your government is independency. Think about it for a second. How are these guys a little independent group again? It's more like they're a very successful independent company that's gotten a lot of handouts from the corporate elites and a literal government, and was just lucky enough to not have the medal in their shows. By the way, if you think it's just Glitch I'm complaining about here, no, they're just the most notable example of this problem I'm having. Yeah, I've seen the Mob Entertainment, Examination, Poppy Playtime, Nerf Egg Shot Blasters, the hell of a Hot Topics, the U2s and FYE and Spencers, the Garten of Band little figures and whatever. I've seen all this shit when walking around malls. I'm not really surprised by these levels of selling out anymore, but I'm still damn well disgusted by it. The problem I have is just how dishonest these big guys feel. It feels like at the same levels of a corporate suit saying, we're fighting for the little guy, when in reality they act the same way as corpos do, or more recently, shaking hands with them, i.e. the Amazon distributing deals and whatever else I mentioned earlier. When are people going to realize that these guys aren't just a little group anymore, they're also a well-known company too that makes a lot of profits? Spindle Horse, Glitch, Rooster Teeth, Devolver Digital, New Blood. Yeah, sure, they're not corporate sized and they treat their employees well most of the time. The problem just goes back to how dishonest I think this all feels. Again, do I need to mention the Digital Circus Cafe in Osaka and the Jack's Goy Slot Burger? When are you people gonna realize this? They are huge now, not some little group of Newgrounds animators anymore. They're a business, they give people jobs. Reported to be about 100 plus people for Glitch and about 224 for Spindle Horse thanks to LinkedIn stats. And no, I'm not saying that them employing people is a bad thing. Quite the contrary, people have to work on garbage sometimes to get that bag, you know? Hell, one of Glitch's lead animators is one of the dudes that worked on the later Ice Age movies, Kevin Temmer. For the fur fags in my audience, this guy is responsible for those hot alien scrats. I'm not apologizing, he knew what the fuck he was doing. I'm gonna move on to my other point with the whole indie going borderline corpo thing. How the phrase support indie animation has become the new animation is cinema by mindless consumers. If you've been on my side of the internet, you know exactly what kind of dude I'm talking about here. That guy, when it comes to talking about any media negatively. The guy who thinks he's culture but eats the most mainstream stuff out there. The guy that watches Baby Boobop slop and thinks it's peak fiction because some Diamond Dozen cartoon reviewer said so. The guy that will get threateningly angry when someone doesn't like something they like, acting personally insulted like he shot on his mom's grave. The guy that goes,
You're just jealous of their success. Support indie animation when it's something they don't like. You lack joy and whimsy.
That fucking fella.
you know, dudes will just eat up anything because it's indie or is using that term as a label, and then act like you sinned against God because you thought the next big thing was just like the last big thing. Like they think you want the whole independent art scene to burn because you got problems with the next big indie show or think it flat out sucks. I mean, I don't blame people for wanting it to burn when a majority indie slop is the same quirky trauma dump garbage that corpo suits shit out because fake relatability and self-deprecation sells. Dudes will say this cheap, repetitive copycat shit is changing the industry, when in reality is proving you gotta recycle ideas over and over until there's nothing left but cheap meta-humor and mental illness glorification over any actual plot, characters, or even setting up punchlines for jokes. Hey, editing Silver here. I'm gonna go a little bit off script here, but a lot of stuff's been happening. I really need to talk about this. So recently I've been seeing a bunch of Digital Circus fans coming out of the woodworks and saying, hey, I really wish this character-driven show had a lot more time to flesh out its characters, because, let's be real, they're a little bit shallow and its climax doesn't really feel that deserved. And despite feeling vindicated, I'm not the only person that thinks this. Like, I'm just seeing people do the most dumbest defenses like, oh, well, Goose said the show was supposed to be short, so that fixes the problem. That's not the problem here. Just because the creator said the show's supposed to be short doesn't really excuse the problem that fans have with the characters not being all that developed. This is the kind of glazing I hate in the independent art scene. Like, dudes will just bend over backwards to defend any of these major shows for the most minimal amounts of criticism. Like, saying that you want the characters to feel more fleshed out isn't even that harsh of a take, and I'm a harsh critic, but like, you see the fucking quote retweets and they're like doing shit like this.
Just consume product and then get excited for next product.
You're a fucking faggot.
To be real, I think we just accidentally bred one of the most toxic, entitled, and consumerist fan bases out there, and I don't really fully blame them. It's most of the demographic being Tumblr teenagers and Redditors. I mentioned it earlier about audio, but I gotta do it again, because Glitch fans getting angry that Goose didn't make Ragnar that much of a main character is really fucking pathetic. Another thing I noticed with Spindle and Glitch fans is that they are just unwilling to interact with anything else in the independent art scene. What, can't mention Monkey Wrench, the third runner-up that doesn't have some indie company behind it, or corpo handholding either? It's made by a bunch of Newgrounds dudes that know when to blend comedy, lore, and action bits together without feeling annoying. They know how to do pacing, and the only sin it's committed is having Doobus Goobus in one episode, and that guy's crime is being unfunny as fuck. Too afraid to mention the simplicity of Flash Kid's Warhammer 40k parody Space King? Let me guess, because you're a furry that doesn't like it when people make fun of you, or he made the relic known as Racist Mario.
Wah, he made edgy animation. This is my safe, wholesome, safe edgy.
At least Flash Kids doesn't jerk off Amazon or Epic Games to get funding. The guy literally parades around and he's self-funded and actively rejects sponsors. Mad fucking respect, dude. I mean, I guess a small criticism I could do for Space King is that it feels a bit too overtly simplistic and it beats the same joke of heresy of Space Marine over and over again. No, don't get me wrong, I think Space King has its moments and it's a great step in the right direction for indie animation. I just wish it could stand out for the same dead, beaten 40k joke that every single Redditor is milked over and over again, that are being based once in a while.
I'm getting to it.
I mean, I like it when the show has this dude bro haha funny moment bits when like the characters are just fooling around and being idiots. Other than that, I think the show is actually alright. Anyways, Hatemonger carries the show on his whole back. I also bet that none of these indie consumers even know what ongozelling is, and that might actually be a good thing. Finally got to watch some of the web series and good on the fanbase from gatekeeping it from Saberspark. I already know his fans would either ruin the show or whine about his humor. Sad that the show got cucked by its own creator, though. Or hell, even lesser known shit like Dinosauria, Costco Fahrenheit, Humans Be Gone, Dudes of Hazmat, anything made by Umami or stop motion artist out there. Ever seen Chuck Steele, Night of the Trampires? That technically counts. Even the dude that made LT Gray's making something that's independent and actually aimed for adults. Also, don't forget Mammal Squad. I mean, I can even count Modern Puppet Master from Full Moon Features. I heard their comics are good, but their modern movies, not so much.
Oh my god, guys, you have to try this new product. It's called the Fortune Teller.
Sorry, I've just been so busy. What are you doing tonight? Do you want to come over?
Let's go.
What's it?
You know what? Fan games and animation count for his argument too. Remember I showed Starbucks Event Horizon? That fan game project that brought back some of the original actors from the games? They're now selling tabletop models based on the ships you can pilot in the game, and they're not just game rips, they're all handcrafted in a 3D software known as Maya, with a resin printer.
You know, it's even funny that fans are actually more responsible giving characters merch to that giant corrupt Japanese corporation.
Wolf and Wanka.
Hell, I haven't even gotten into the indie game scene yet, which I think is less corrupted by uncreative Redditors just doing an Ouroboros of quirky. And that's three shots of whiskey for that line. Say goodbye to your liver by the end of this video. But before I get into the video game stuff, I gotta talk about something else, something a bit more creepy, something that'll keep you up for 5 nights. Yeah, indie horror is arguably worse.
Don't pee on the floor, use the Commodore.
Modern indie horror has 3 flavors: analog, mascot, and walking sim. The copycatting here is even worse to the point AI channels are joining in. Angel Edge's plot is all over the place. You don't even know what time period it's set in due to its AI imagery and added robot voice acting. And its main theme is about man's over-reliance on machines corrupting our worldview. A series about technology corrupting humanity, made by AI. Oh, the irony.
Fucking stupid calculator!
I mean, Urban Spook could have been scary if it wasn't mostly a slideshow going over demented serial killers' art pieces and paragraphs about how they brutally killed and maimed people. Repeating one of my points from earlier, Show Don't Tell really could have worked for Urban Spook because there's no build-up, there's no scare, it's just describing a murder over and over and over again, but it's a little different this time. And here's some creepy-looking art. Woo! Also, shoutouts to the creator getting harassed because he made the serial killers genuine horrible people that do terrible things to kids, too. You know what the fuck I'm talking about. No, Twitter, not everyone who makes horror killers that level deranged is the Terminalis dev. And then we have people making the next, whoa, stretchy face looks scary. Woo. Hey, editing Silver again. This segment was originally going to be me making fun of the whole stretchy McLong face tropes, and now everybody just copied what Modelo Catalog did and just railing on Walton Files for being incredibly trope heavy. But in retrospect, I think it just get way too harsh here. Like, even the creator of Walton Files admits that the first 3 episodes aren't really all that good, and he's remaking them, so good on him for that. The only criticism I still keep from the original bit is that I think Walton's animation style, being incredibly tween-heavy, ruins the uncanny vibe and just goes into straight-up silliness. Like that one white guy jump scare in their latest episode,
Disgusting black.
And that new Bubsy game with the terrible voice acting being made by Indie Studio. I think that's more of a commission thing, though. And don't get me started with DD Bust Up with Black. Something about this game feels mindless to me in a way. Again, once you know what you're doing, it's just easy to jump off a wall and get a combo multiplier, then kill a bunch of enemies in the most basic ways possible, then boom, basic S rank or even a P rank. Yeah, I really don't think Ultra Kill is all that hard, along with fanatics being a bunch of backseat gamers. Yeah, if you've seen Squid Boy in that one white Nickel Arc streamers video, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. All I'm just saying is that Pistol only should be a flex, not a shame, but Under the Mayo lives in the head of every single Ultra Kill fan, so his bad take ruined that grace for him.
You suck!
And to finish off this part about why I don't like Ultra Kill, I have 5 words to say. Official dev butt plug support.
Really? Do something to me?
This mod was also endorsed by the official Twitter, by the way. You know, now I see why this game has the audience it has. They all like taking it up the butt. Okay, now I'll do a shorter bit of a game I actually like for its artistic liberties. Cruelty Squad. And how nobody gets what makes it work. Now, Cruelty Squad's whole thing is designed about being unconventional and frustrating to the gameplay, with its biggest example being the reload, the schizo-level storytelling, and especially the art style being a neon papier-mâché vomit nightmare. Everything has a certain level of frustration and stylization, but not to the point where it's going to make you sick. It's not moving all over the place. And the game's jankiness makes it not a full-on pain in the ass to play, but still, well, a little annoying. If you want a real pain in the ass, I heard you should try 100%ing it. Stock market sims and fishing minigames. God, I hate these things in any video game. Fish! Now, the real problem here is not with Cruelty Squad itself, it's with the copycats. The people making the next Quake-like FPS and copying certain aspects for the popular ones, but it's only on a surface level, and it's always the worst aspects and never the good ones. One thing I'll give Ultra Kill in good game design is the game's speed. You're fast. Really fast. But not too fast to the point where you feel like you're a drunk driver. You're all in control here. All the homicide you're doing here is on purpose. Meanwhile, everyone else trying to do that overloads the screen with so much junk, and it feels as slow as a snail on a Sunday stroll through the woods. The reason why people are hating on these new indie games like Cyberlich and Tamakashi isn't because some chuddy said Randy game, it's just flat out. They look like ass. They look cheap. They look like they're gonna give me a seizure by playing it or put me to sleep. But like how do you screw up a first-person shooter? It should be really simple when you look at the formula. Don't clutter up the screen so I can see where I'm shooting, make things feel hectic and not a boring slog. Like, how does a schizo trip like Cardinal get this right when most other these games don't? These games look like that one Doom Dark Souls HUD display meme. They look like they were made to jingle keys in the face of someone instead of making something out of any actual passion. Just copy what other popular thing is doing, but make it worse. That's why people hate these. They're not being their own thing. It's copycatting what's popular with the most bare bones effort to make it look different, not some chuddy neo-Nazi dog whistle like what Dumpster Man wants you to think.
On this issue. But if you truly hate indie games to the point where you feel the need to like go to bat against them online, in my opinion, this is at absolute best extremely anti-art. It tells me at minimum that you view video games as a product that exists to maximize profits only and not art that can be created by an impassioned individual for just the sake of art.
It tells me at minimum that you view video games as a product that exists to maximize profits only and not art that can be created by an impassioned individual for just the sake of art.
And this just brings me back to a point I made earlier. The dudes will eat up anything just because it's indie. You know, the dudes will unironically go,
support indie unless it's someone you don't like?
You know, the brainwashed consumers that will get pissed off to hell and back when anybody dares dislike the next Shield product. I think people need to realize that just because something is indie doesn't always mean it's going to be good and we should shield it no matter what. We should just be excusing trope-heavy garbage just because...
Well, it's made by the little guy. It just came out. The art's good, so...
Don't ask questions. Just consume product.
Okay, you want to support indie devs? Okay, go play Steal a Brain Rot on Roblox and spend $5,000 in it. You'll really be showing me, dude. Also, buy stuff from LankyBox and consume Mr. Beast products too. Come on, guys. In a technical sense, just like Lich, they're both counted as independent content creators. Now, don't get me wrong, there are good pieces of independent media still being made. The problem I have is just the same garbage gets shilled over and over and over again, with excuses for mediocrity being made because of good animation, and then we get the same garbage made by corporations with the same boring premise with the same similar story beats as the last big thing, claiming to be deep or action-filled when they fall into the same pitfalls as their predecessors. Boring, substanceless tripe made for safe, edgy teenagers. Oh great, another indie show or game with jokes that are way too self-aware to the point of winking and nudging over and over that there's something more to it, and in reality it's the most bland and flashy piece of media out there. With characters so shallow and full of relatable moments or the most drawn-out, in-your-face storytelling and the same kind of millennial humor over and over again, it's tiring, but hey, the animation's good, so where do dudes making action cartoons at the levels of SWAT Cats or Transformers? Like, Madness Combat and Space King exist, but everybody knows about them already. Where do dudes making real dark shit like These Are the Painful, managing to be funny while also being messed up and having complex characters?
Okay,
Well, it's out there. Some places deep in the net, you just gotta find them. Not the next overchilled thing claiming to be original while copycatting. This is why I wish more people were harder on independent media instead of just eating it up, but there will always be the next shill, an army of yes men that will bum rush a guy for saying, this thing sucks. Bruh, look at this shit. This dude makes a good video criticizing Knights of Guinevere, and a bunch of sycophant 12-year-old Glitch fans dislike bomb him. Again, how are we not in an indie dark age again? And don't get me started with what Wastelania fans did to Oh Yeah's video, like, holy crap, look at his ratio, like, damn, you thought he was harsh on this shit? You know what's the hardest part about this video? Figuring out a way to end it. There is irony about me making this video and having a comic that never went anywhere, but did I quit? No. I still draw stuff and have ideas for things I want to do besides making videos complaining or calling the next big shot YouTuber mid. I have designed stuff. I've designed characters for an indie game. By the way, play for Adventure and its sequel Alliance if you really care about independent artists. The game is basically made by one dude, all be the alien. Sub to him on YouTube as well. And I'm still working on designs for another friend's comic. You know, Roy, his comic, Silent Winds Camino. And then there's some Star Fox Event Horizon fan thing I want to do, and a shonen comic about some vampire sheriff. But enough of my hobbies and chivalry. Get back to my point. So in my advice, don't ever quit, no matter what dudes say, because if you quit, you fail. And don't be ever afraid to say that something sucks either. Listen to what people have to say and why they're saying it sucks. Learn from it. Don't fully ignore critics because dudes can get mean. Harsh critics exist for a reason. There's a difference between a person being a dick-ass troll and saying something sucks to get attention, and then there's a person actually concerned about a product's quality. And if you honestly enjoy any of the things I mentioned in this video, fine. If you don't treat digital circus like the second coming of Christ or has been hell of a, it's just a guilty pleasure, fine, I legitimately do not care. How do you think I have any ground to stand on for not liking slop? I'm playing Fallout 76 in this footage. It's just my dumb fun game. I just wish dudes would stop with the blind praise of indie stuff and dudes would stop overusing millennial humor and tropes to cover up laziness in writing. I think I can finally end this video now. This shit took me forever to finish due to work and whatever else I had to deal with in real life. Anyway, if you like this video, leave a like. If you hate this video, leave a dislike. I'm an SF1232, and just because it's indie doesn't mean it's good. Finally. Okay.